welcome to Soccer as We Like It, the Man United Direction the channel for UK and US fans globally. We are joined today by the UK crew and the USA crew. Joining us from UK is Ken. Ken, welcome to the show, mate. Long time.
Yes, it has been. Yeah, good to be on. Good to see your faces as well.
Good, good. Also representing us from UK, is Vim. Vim, hello, mate.
Hey guys, how you all doing? Great to be back.
And we have Kai K. I was going to say Kai.
Yo,
Welcome.
Yeah.
And representing Houston Red Army, we have Joe the Soul Man. Hello, Joe. And the one and only, the controversial one. Been missing in action, but he's back. He has a lot to get off his chest. Right, Benzie, welcome to the show.
What are you doing, man?
Right, let's jump right into it. Man United nil, Wolves 2. Not Wolves, Spurs 2. But United have been struggling in the last couple of games in reference to the Premier League. But the most important thing was the game yesterday against Spurs, where United were kind of really off the ball. But we have to discuss what is really going on behind the scenes. But Vim, let me start with Vim. Vim, United beat Wolves last week 1-0. But unfortunately, they got 3 points, even though the performance did not warrant it. But it was all that mattered. We got 3 points. Then they went to White Hart Lane yesterday, and the wheels all came off.
I think the wheels have not really been put on, or maybe they're on, but the bolts haven't been tightened yet.
Right.
So, I mean, the win against Wolves wasn't even convincing. You know, if Rafael Varane didn't header in that goal, we would have just gone away with the draw. You know, Wolves haven't really strengthened. In fact, you know, they're pretty much stagnant, whereas we have invested, and you know, we've got players on big salaries. High expectations as this club, as we all know. Something seems amiss. Something doesn't seem right. You know, we were talking about this before the game. Perhaps this sale, this ownership changeover, handover hasn't happened, and it's maybe impacting all the players. Maybe it's impacting the coach. Maybe it's impacting everyone throughout the club. You know, are they downing tools already? Are they just unfit? They don't seem committed to the project. They don't seem hungry. I watched a couple of the games, you know, pre-season, and they looked a little bit more lively. The academy players looked more lively than some of the first team. So something doesn't seem right. So maybe we'll uncover it throughout the show.
All right. Let me go to the US crew. Benzie, they beat Wolves last week. This week it was the same way. Using the same team.
Is it the same team?
The same lineup that started.
If it's the same. Okay. Well, I mean,
Richard,
yeah, same
welcome
team.
to the show. Representing UK, Richard, welcome.
how you doing, guys? All right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's the same team, but is he? You know, Erik ten Hag is known for like, he's known for putting out the same team that don't really perform in the previous game. We saw that last season when he puts out a team and they don't and they don't bring the results, right? He always gives them a chance to prove themselves. So
Yeah.
that's what he did. So I wasn't surprised. But again, yet again, it's the same old story with United, man. Same old story. I mean, I don't really know what it is, what's going on this season. It's I think we're worse than we were last season, beginning of last season. I mean, this manager has been with this team for 1 year. I mean, I'm not solely blaming on Erik ten Hag, but I'll say Erik ten Hag has to take some blame for that loss yesterday. I'll say the players have to take a lot of responsibility too as well. I mean, that midfield is imbalanced, completely imbalanced. It looks like the only team we have is just a defense. From midfield to attack, it's just no team. We're just none and void. I mean, there's so many issues. It is a big worry. I am very, very worried. I'm very concerned that it's gonna be a long season. We need to make changes fast. Buy new players fast. We need that. We need 2 midfielders in ASAP. That Mount thing is not working. Ten Hag has to find a way to get it to work. It's just so many unanswered questions with this team right now. So bad.
Right, let me get Richard. Richard, how's it going, mate? Wolves, we all got 3 points. The performance didn't warrant 3 points, but as they say, sometimes you don't have to play well to get 3 points. But it is what it is. Now we play Spurs, who apparently we heard Spurs defense isn't all that great, but we couldn't even get through it or even score against Spurs. Where do you stand on this one, mate? Where is the problem? Is it from last week continuing, or there is a general problem?
Look, you know my thoughts. I've been backing Ten Hag, and I'll continue to do so for the foreseeable future. But I'm getting frustrated at him because only a wise man learns from his mistakes, right? Everybody could see that the midfield was getting ran over by Wolves on Monday with Mount and Bruno there. All the attacks were literally going through the midfield, and he continued to persist with that lineup. So it just tells me that the guy is quite stubborn. And what we've seen in the past with stubborn managers is they get sent to the scrapyard. That is the truth. If you look at
That's a bit harsh, right?
Well, look at LVG. He was stubborn. Mourinho stubborn. Oli picked his favorites. It doesn't end up good for these guys. So Ten Hag has to learn. He's picking Mount and Bruno in that midfield is a car crash waiting to happen. Now Casemiro, he didn't have a good game, but he had too much to do in the middle of the park. Luke Shaw, again, I don't know what he was playing at, being out of position yesterday. I think Ten Hag's told him the fullbacks to tuck in tighter to the midfield. But again, that tactic got exposed because the first goal was literally down his side because he was tucking in too tight to the midfield. So I think that Ten Hag has got a lot to learn, but I'm sorry, if he doesn't learn, I'm not going to be one of these guys that'll be like, oh yeah, give him time. We've already had a season where he's got the chance to bring in some of his players, and we're not seeing a style of football yet that has a clear identity. So if he doesn't improve, I'm sorry, he has to go like the rest of them.
Oh well, Joe.
The first goal was actually Garnacho's fault. Right winger, player went over to the right. Garnacho didn't press him quick enough, which led to the cross coming in. That was Garnacho, not Shaw. That said, Shaw didn't have a great game either. We're always going to have trouble scoring because right now, neither of our sides have a relationship with each other. Wan-Bissaka doesn't have a relationship with Anthony, and Shaw certainly doesn't have a relationship with Garnacho. I don't even think Garnacho really has a relationship with Marcus Rashford, right? Because you can see that there were times when I could see first. I watched the game again today, right? I got it on right now. That's what I was able to, It's clear that Marcus Rashford does not like. It doesn't seem like he likes playing with Garnacho. There's something there where they just don't play off each other the way you see Rashford and Anthony Martial plays, right? You can see Rashford even get a little bit more frustrated when he got taken off because he got taken off and Anthony came in, and I think he might have been a little bit more frustrated because he would have been able to produce a little bit more with Anthony on the pitch. That said, these guys are supposed to be cream of the crop. These guys are supposed to be Manchester United proven. You can't tell me you're a Manchester United player, you can only play with one left winger. You got to be versatile, man. You got to be able to, whatever conversation needs to happen between Shaw is the veteran in this situation, right? Whatever conversation needs to happen between our fullbacks and our wingers, I don't know if Ten Hag is the one that needs to facilitate it, but it is not working at all. And for a team that's supposed to be having speedy wingers, that's supposed to be our outlet, there is no. You'll get the outlet, and after that, there is no. It just does not look like there's any plan as to getting the ball into the net. It's just go ahead. Once you get in the final third, let's go ahead and just start winging it. Because if we don't know what to do, certainly our opponents won't know what to do. But it's not resulting into goals. So I blame this entire game on Erik ten Hag for him to count. Look at what he saw last week. Put that same team out there. Either you put the same team out there because they didn't follow your instructions last week and you felt like they're going to this week, or you're so stubborn that you think you're gonna force this new system onto the guys, and it doesn't seem like they are ready. They do not look ready at all to implement whatever Ten Hag is put out. So I would hope with the introduction of Martial towards the end of the game, maybe that'll change things a little bit. Hopefully, Ten Hag has seen the folly of his ways with Anthony and keeping him on the pitch. Certainly, big changes need to be made. At least 3 people need to be taken out of the lineup or have their position moved for the next game. Mount out, Anthony out, Garnacho out. So hopefully that's what he does.
We'll hold that for Kenneth. Where are we? Where are we on the Wolves transition into the Spurs game? Ken?
You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just saying, where do we start? I mean, if you look at Ange how do you say his name again? Postecoglou or whatever, how it's pronounced. You can clearly see an identity, right? You can see what they're trying to do. This is after 2 games, right?
Yes.
If you look at even Gary O'Neill walked in last minute, like a couple of games before the Man United game at Old Trafford. You could see that they totally outplayed us at Old Trafford. Now, my concern at the moment is with Ten Hag. We seem to have regressed. We've gone backwards. The team we put out last season, it's a lot better than what we let's call a spade, right? If you look at the team at the moment, compared with the team we had last season, the team we had last season is actually better in terms of performance, in terms of personnel. I mean, trying to play Mason Mount in that position and not only trying to play. I'm happy with my manager trying new things. I want managers to surprise us because that's what they're paid for. But when, as a fan, I look at the team and I know we've already lost the battle before we start. That's just criminal. That is criminal, and it's not acceptable. Like, as a fan, I should not be looking at the team and go, we've lost the game before. That's just not acceptable. And you could just see all the things that we said before the game was just happening. And I was listening to United TV this afternoon, and there's one thing I've noticed. Have you noticed that when we're losing away from home, the camera pans to Ten Hag, and it's looking like when you look at someone and you're thinking, I'm not sure this guy really knows what's going on. He's looking, thinking, how's this happening? Yes. And that is very worrying. There's nothing wrong with losing football matches.
It's how you lose.
It's how you lose. And also, you've got to have an idea, right? You're 2-0 down, fair enough. As a manager, when the camera pans to Ten Hag, I'm expecting my manager to be going, okay, I know what I'm going to do next. Yeah, that's fine. We're 2-0 down. I'm going to bring this person. I'm going to change it. But he just looks like a rabbit caught in a headlight. He's just stunned. And from what else, and this might sound a bit controversial, but we need to pick up 4 points out of the next 2 games. If we don't, then he's
Forest and Arsenal.
Yeah, at the very minimum 4 points. Anything else is not acceptable. And questions have to be asked about Ten Hag, because if you look at this, is his second season. He's had 2 pre-seasons.
Yes.
2 pre-seasons.
Yes.
This is his second transfer window. We played over 60 odd games last season, and we still don't know what we're doing. So it's very, very worrying, very, very worrying where we are now. And, things have to change.
Right.
Okay.
Come in here, please. Is it Mount that's the wrong piece that we're trying to fit in, or is it the system we're trying to adjust? What system is he actually trying to implement? Does anyone even know anymore?
I think we've changed too much too soon. Bringing in Onana was a positive, but now we play a different way of football, which puts more pressure on players to come and receive the ball. None of our players want to come and get on the ball on the half turn. And when it did happen, Eriksen did it. He almost did what he did against Brentford. Slipped and it went in. Obviously, we had Eriksen and Casemiro in the majority of the season. So that's changed. Having no strike, I've said it before. Look at the difference from when Marcel came on. He held up the ball we had a bit of an outlet. Like, when you haven't got a striker that is up top, look at Chelsea when they were playing Havertz. You play a strike. If you don't have a striker up top, you're in trouble. Like you're always like, especially in the second half. Bruno, he just started launching the ball forward. Like we started getting desperate. Like, and last season we weren't doing that. So I think I said it earlier. I think there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. They don't seem like they're a team. Like like last season when we scored, there was a bit more passion. It felt like there was a bit more togetherness. This season it feels a bit just disjointed. So I don't know whether it's some players might not be happy with the Greenwood situation, or there's cliques,
ownership,
or there's players that the ownership. There's players that aren't really going to feature in the club that are still hanging around, and they're probably creating a bad smell. There's too many negatives. We should be talking about on the pitch, and we're talking about Glazers, Maguire not leaving, wanting wages, the Gea incident. Obviously, only having 2 keepers now, 1 keeper that wanted to leave, Henderson. It just seems like we're in a bit of a crisis at the moment. And for me, the biggest problem was during pre-season, a lot of the games, we couldn't tell what the first 11 was. Sancho played a lot of the games up top, and he's not started one of the Premier League games up top. Yes, so what was the point of playing him up top so it's like they're not used to what we're doing. And obviously we all know Rashford hates playing up top. And I remember watching something, they were saying like players normally say, I'm happy to do a job for the team. Yes. The fact Rashford come on the overlap and said, I don't really like playing up top, I want to play on the left. Like that's not good that he's come out and said that. Like you should be saying I'm happy to do a job
maybe
for the team.
That's his friction with the Garnacho then.
Right.
He wants to play on the left.
Roy Keane did say that as a player, as a team, you should be happy to do a job, even if that's not where you are supposed to play, but you should be able to do a job. He said, but these players can't even do the job out of them, even in their own positions, let alone another position.
But that's why he said. If you're doing that once in a while, that's fine. If you're doing that for almost a full season, and then you're having to do it the next season, that's a shambles. We bought in a striker, and the striker can't even play. So why have we got 2 strikers that ain't fit? That's a shambles.
It is.
Right. And plus, you got to imagine also as a player, you know what you're capable of. You know how
you know your strengths.
You can contribute to the team, and you know your best way to contribute to the team is on a certain position. Now it's all about you want to be the company man. You want to be a team player and everything. But if you know that you are being placed in a position that is detrimental to the team, that could be a little frustrating for a player.
Right. Yeah. Are we, as United fans globally, are we overreacting? Is it too early? Is just 2 games in? Or are we just being United fans like, oh, we need to win all the 2 games? Are we overreacting, or we are truly, there's a problem already in 2 games in? Quickly go to Bemsy. Bemsy.
No, we're not overreacting. We're not overreacting. We're not overreacting. We look, every season we in the same, we have the same conversation.
Last season we were 0 points in 2 games.
Yeah, but I mean, we're lucky to have 3 points against Wolves. So in my mind, it was as good as a loss because we were terrible. We were useless. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I've been singing this song for what, 6 years now, 7. I don't know how long I've been singing the song, man. This club is doomed. It's doomed. Like, for some reason, thinking, well, we can challenge for the Premier League. Oh man, yeah. What did Roy Keane say? There's still something he said. Thinking
with the new Spurs.
Man, new Spurs. Yeah, exactly. And then he said something again. He said, there's one word. He said, you must be joking. Thinking
we're desperate. We look desperate.
Man,
we look desperate.
We are. I mean, when I look at United, right? I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand this club anymore, man. There is no, like, I've been saying this. There is no manager that will be successful at United until upstairs changes. I don't care who you bring in. Eric Ten Hag is a good manager. He is a good manager. You cannot tell me you bring in Van Gaal, who's a good manager. You bring in Mourinho, who's a good manager. The only one of them that really wasn't a good manager was Ole. But I mean, then you bring in Ten Hag. In my opinion, except for Ole, these three managers, you can't tell me these three managers are not good. There's a theme here. There's a theme here.
What about David Moyes?
David Moyes was a joke at that time. I mean, he's okay. He's still better than Ole. Ole was the worst. But David Moyes is still a decent manager. He's getting results out of West Ham. In my opinion, Rangnick spoke the truth. A lot of fans gave him hell. He spoke the truth. He said this team needed a complete overhaul. He was completely right. And we still, and that overhaul still needs to take place because it's not even, I mean, and then I want to say when it comes to Ten Hag, right? A lot of times Ten Hag has not been given his first priority choices. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest, right? This season, I said in the group, Harry Kane was his first choice. He didn't get him.
Yep.
He wanted to keep De Gea, right? Because he wanted to spend that money on Harry Kane and get a King Min Jae. King Min Jae was his first choice center back. He didn't get him, right? So I mean, I don't know why he went for Mount. I just don't understand why he went for Mount. But like everything, his transfer plan changed because, right? Because of all of a sudden we couldn't get Kane, so he had to think of it, and then he said, okay, well, it was just easy just to let De Gea go because his contract was over, and then use that money and get Onana, being that he's not even De Gea is actually not really performed well the last few games of the season. So everything changed. So yes, he has to take some blame, but I will say like manager after manager, they don't always get their first choice signings. Let's be honest. Mourinho was the same situation. Ole was the same situation. What's his name? Van Gaal was the same situation. Nothing's gonna change, right? We might win the Carabao Cup here and there. We might win the FA Cup here and there. It might make you feel good, with yourselves, but it's not. We're not going anywhere, man.
Okay, let me jump to Vim. Vim. So, like Benza just said, it's not an overreaction from the fans. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. 2 games in, last season we were 0 points in at this point. We could have still been 0 points if we lost to Wolves or not got a point against Wolves. Is it so? Are fans already seeing problems, or are we thinking it can be adjusted as we go along? As I told Ben yesterday, it's only 2 games in. This thing can be changed as we go along.
It's very early in the season. We can easily bounce back. We can get 2 wins next 2 games and then everything's back to normal. But it's just really papering over the cracks that exist in the club. And for me, as Bem says, and behind me, this is the problem. The Glazer ownership. This is what's causing all this unrest. This is what's causing a lot of fractures in the club, which are becoming evident on screen.
But they're still providing funds to buy players.
Yeah, but they're doing it from club revenue. We've got the best revenue in the country in terms of from football ownership and football TV revenue and sponsorship and so on. It's revenue that's paying for it. They don't put their money in their pocket to pay for anything. They don't invest their own money in the club. They let the stadium fall apart. They let the club fall apart because that's how they operate. We all desperately wanted the Qataris to take over. It's not happened yet. So what are these guys playing at? Are they trying to influence share price and push the share prices up and then sell a quantity off if that's allowed?
Right.
What are they doing? They're still collecting the dividends. They're not really investing. They're just using revenue. We're getting second and third choices still. So it's just more of the same. I honestly think that the ownership has to change. Right. Otherwise, we're going to probably see another shoddy season, top 4 at most.
Richard, overreaction too early in the season it can be changed. Only 2 games in. There's still 36 to go in the Premier League. No even talked about Champions League. We're not talking about FA. It's just 2 games in. Is there overreaction or you could already see it's already bad? So
yeah, this is the perfect reaction because it will give those imbeciles at the top a kick up the backsides to go and open up the checkbook and go and correct what is wrong. So they've bought 3 players in Onana, which, yeah, we all knew we needed a goalkeeper. Højlund, who only scored 9 goals in Serie A last season. And then Mason Mount, who had 1 year left on his contract, and they spent 60 million. I think he's a trash player personally, but that's neither here nor there. The reaction is spot on. Let us get these bad results whilst the window's still open, and try and make some changes. But going back to Vim's point, the owners are clueless. You know, they just pretty much think about their dividends and profits. They don't really care about the club, and the whole takeover thing has just been a complete circus. This should have been done months ago. You know, we should have had new owners in. So even if they do spend the money, it might temporarily fix the problem, but it's not really going to fix the broken mess that's at United. So we drastically need a change. But yeah, the reaction is justified. And I personally think that the fans should be even more aggressive towards the team, because we shouldn't be accepting failure. We shouldn't be accepting bad results. We shouldn't just say, oh, it's okay, you know, it's early on in the season. No, put pressure on these guys, because some of these players are on over £300,000 a week. So they need to be doing their job. So my opinion is that whatever the fans are thinking, it's justified.
Right. All right. Joe, too early to react or justified to react?
I would say it's not too early, because we've been to this dance before. We've read this book before.
Well,
and
we were 0 points. We got
okay,
we got 3.
but the rot is still there, right? That's what these first 2 games have shown us. The rot is still there. Whatever is some kind of mental rot that from time to time just infects this entire team, it's still there. It's still a problem. Strategically, I would say I don't know if there's anything the fans can do at this point, because a lot of the ways, because these guys are only going to answer the money, and a lot of the ways they make their money is baked in already, right? From the second we even turn on the telly to watch the game, they already got a bag, you know. From this, when we even go on the Twitter page to look at the lineup, they're getting a bag from that because of the views, the clicks, you know. I mean, I don't know how we'll be able to affect these guys. It seems like we're just stuck, and that's the most disheartening part about it. They got us by the balls, man. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it, because you guys are right. I don't know if I'm willing to say we will never be successful until the Glazers leave.
Wow,
but
that's cold.
It's clear the management is stifling progress in this team every time. We just look like we're about to see like a lose. It's always something like, think about it. There isn't a single team in Europe that has the same personnel issues that we have. We have our dead weight is now fighting back. Our dead weight, bro. Like, they're not just leaving anymore. They're fighting back to stay, right? We have to mess with Greenwood, right? We need certain players to come into the team. We can't buy them because we got to get rid of Maguire. He's talking about he wants a payout now. Like, the player mentality in this team is, I don't even know. This is even beyond the management. What is about the mentality of these players that got them thinking that they can move like this and there can't be any repercussions? What is it about, like, you see Bruno moving a certain way, Rashford playing a certain way? How can they possibly, like, there's no fear, because they know, these guys know, Rashford knows he's the best left winger on the squad. Rashford knows that. Bruno knows he's got the best shot of causing or leading to goals. Yes, you might be able to get that from Eriksen, but on a week-to-week basis, Bruno knows he's got it. Martinez, Shaw knows he's got it now. Like, last year, there was a little bit of competition, right? But watch out. There's a good chance we're going to see Shaw slide back a little bit, because he knows that he's the better option, right? Of course, like, Ten Hag might want to prove a point with Malacia, but even Malacia has limits to his game, So I don't know if Ten Hag needs to just completely turn into a dickhead, man. He just needs to, they need to be running.
You're saying he's not brutal enough, that he's letting the players know that the places are guaranteed, so they're not being pushed by themselves. They're not, even if they don't play well, they're still going to be selected. Is that what you're trying to say?
Look at it like this. I want that same energy. Though. I want the same energy that Ten Hag showed towards Maguire after that first 2 games of last season. I need to see that same energy with Anthony, potentially Bruno, captain armband or not. He did the same thing last year. The captain got dropped after 2 games of abysmal performances, right? If I can see that kind of energy from Erik ten Hag, then I think I would feel a little bit better, because he knows, that tells me he sees exactly what we see. I'm sure he sees what we see.
He must. He's right there.
I've got a quick question on this. Just a quick question on this, yeah? There is this other theory about player power.
Right.
What have we got left? 10 days, 11 days left in this transfer window?
Yes.
That's massive.
There's clearly unrest in this club. We're not buying the players that we want, and I'm sure it's affecting the team. I'm sure it's affecting Ten Hag. So the only, where everyone's doing everything they can to affect the Glazers, or to influence them somehow. Is there a possibility that the team, Ten Hag and his players, are doing some sabotage, ever so subtle, to force a sale or to force purchases of players, because we've got 11 days left? Is there a possibility of that going on?
Let me bring Ken in here. Ken,
are you asking about overreacting?
Overreacting. Is it the players now, or is it the manager? Is it Ten Hag not knowing what is his best team? Like Joe said, he thinks Erik ten Hag is not strict enough to listen, you're not performing on the bench. But who are the replacements for this? You're not good enough on the bench. We really don't have a deep squad to put better players in, because there's no impact players on the bench.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors here to consider. It's just
a lot.
There's just so many things. The fact that every single manager we get in the second season dies. Dies. If you look at Moyes, look at Mourinho, look at Van Gaal. Van Gaal won the FA Cup, got sacked. Mourinho's second season was rubbish. Even Oli.
Yep.
All the managers we've had in the second season, and it's something to do, I don't know if it's something to do with transfers but again, that's one point. The second point is every player that comes to United declines. Look at Anthony. Look at Martinez. Again, he started off very poor this season, making rush tackles and, scoring on goals. Who else? Malacia. Did anyone see Malacia in the Europa League final for Feyenoord? He was amazing. When Roma won it. Comes to United, dies. I get the fact that the Glazers are, a big problem, but why is Mason Mount our first summer signing? Someone has to, because obviously Ten Hag wanted him, right?
Yeah.
Why didn't we get Amrabat and wait for player sales to get?
But did Ten Hag want Mason Mount?
I would also say
let Kenneth finish his point. Hold on. Let Kenneth finish.
Surely Mason Mount is, but I'm sure you guys are into IT, you're into project management. You've got the Moscow rules, yeah? You've got must have, could have, should have, and want haves, right?
Yes.
If you look at Mason Mount is maybe a could have. It's not a must have. We should have gone in. Amrabat is 25 million. We should have gone in for Amrabat, right? That 25 million. We've spent 60 million on this guy. Where we've got Bruno there. We've got Eriksen that can play in that position as a number 10. We could have got Amrabat, and so I just don't know. There's just so many things going. We're not overreacting, because look at Arsenal. Arsenal finished 5th, right? I was expecting the same. I was expecting us to start really strongly this season, because in this league, we all know if you can put 5 wins on the trot, especially the first 5 games, if you can win your first 5 games, you're up there,
Yeah, you're feeling good, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We could have done it. We could have done it,
Yeah.
and that's why I was thinking we can do something this season. But again, we've fallen behind, and this is what happens. By the time you know it, we're 12 points behind, and then everyone go, "Oh yeah, we're in a title race. You know, let's try. We win a couple of games."
But
Thing has to change.
just quickly, you win the first 5 games. Don't you think it takes the pressure off the Glazers?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any pressure on the Glazers.
It does. It
And
does.
No matter what,
Yeah,
I don't think there's
yeah,
any pressure on the Glazers.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no-
exactly.
yeah.
Kate.
Okay,
Kate is exactly
let
right.
me.
Thinking
Ben,
that
quickly.
there's no pressure
Okay,
on them.
go on, Kate.
Yeah, well,
I
true.
don't care whether we win or lose.
But
Yeah, they
Even
don't
in the
care.
country.
They don't care.
Like for me,
We keep losing. There's going to be more pressure on the Glazers. There's going to be more
No, but
protests.
losing.
No,
It's gonna-
because us losing,
Don't
we're
just
not
sack
going to
the
lose
manager.
money.
for us,
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
that's the thing.
One at a time.
But then we're
Let-
stuck in a vicious circle, sacking managers.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we as fans want to challenge for the league because we've signed a couple of players. A lot of fans got excited. This team's nowhere near competing for the league. Nowhere
Yeah.
near.
Yeah, nowhere close.
People are forgetting Liverpool and Chelsea were a shambles last season. That's the only reason we were in with it, really. If Liverpool had a season like they normally did, and they almost chased us down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did.
we wouldn't have made top 4 if Chelsea was good.
Yeah,
was
Let
better.
me just
Yeah, they
answer
wouldn't have made
Kate.
top 4.
Kate, the reason why there was a lot of optimism this season is because if you look at Arsenal, they finished 5th, right? Or you look, and you don't really have to. We're not saying win the league, yeah. We're just saying just do what Arsenal did. Just try and win 3 games.
No,
4
no,
games.
but
Sorry, let him finish his point. Let Ken finish his point.
Okay.
Just start well, you know, and put a run of games together. And if Arsenal can do it with that team they had, why can't we do it? Why can't we? We've just wasted. It's just unfortunate that we've wasted 60 million on a player that is a nice to have. That we could have gone out. We could have got Onana from Everton. You know, we just need someone that can break play. I
want to say a point.
Yeah, go on.
The big difference between us and Arsenal is, what did Arteta do? He cleared out every player he didn't want. We've never been able to do that. 1, 2, the club, they don't want their owners out. The owners have changed their attitude and they're pumping money in. Arteta's getting the players he wants. He's got hungry players, a young squad. The problem with United is we've got the Glazers, we've got 6 players that don't want to be there that we can't get rid of. We've got too much player power, and they're not a team. Arsenal are a team. If you look at Arsenal, you can see there's unity in that squad. In United, I don't see unity.
There's no unity, yeah. I think
Arteta, what's his name? ETH has spent more money than Arteta.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
See, Ken, I don't see a lot of people like to put like the amount of money that these managers have spent. Like ETH has spent a lot of money. I totally agree with that. But the thing about it is that it's not about buying players. It's about sales. Just as in Kay mentioned something, he said Arteta was allowed to get rid of the players he didn't want, right?
Like I said, Aubameyang, he got rid of all of them. He cleared them all.
That's what ETH has done as well. ETH has got rid of players.
No, he's not been able to
We
get.
still have cancerous elements.
No, but he's not been able to get rid of all of them. No, he's not been able to get rid of all. No, it's not just the players. It's also the club. It's a club. If you look at Maguire, he doesn't want Maguire there. He doesn't want McTominay there. He didn't want Fred there. Fred is gone. I can guarantee you, right? Fred and McTominay, his plan was to let them go and replace him with 2 midfielders. With two midfielders that at least one of them can play a 6, and another of them can be just that 8 box to box. I guarantee you. Eric Ten Hag, I'm pretty sure he wanted another striker. He still wants another striker. Let's be honest. Martial, I know he loves Martial, but if you give him the opportunity, he's gonna let Martial go. He likes Sancho. If you give him the opportunity, he will let Sancho go. He's not been able to get rid of the players that he would like to get rid of. There's still a lot of players there that he needs to get rid of.
Isn't that more like an organizational issue? So
it's not his fault. That's not him. It's the club.
So look at this. You look at Maguire. He wants a certain payout. Bailly says he wants 700,000 before he leaves. You can't sell Brandon Williams 50,000.
That's not on Ten Hag though. That's not on Ten Hag.
It's an organizational issue. You got Brandon Williams sitting there. No one. We can't even sell him. We sold Tottenham for 2 million.
Tim, at Arsenal, do you ever see a player saying, "I want paying 8 to leave"? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Listen, you never had players saying they want this amount to leave. No,
Even
never.
at City, it doesn't happen at City either.
That is
Maguire-
that player power. We're giving them too much
shows you the
power
player
and
power.
privilege.
Yeah.
They think. I mean, it's a
It's
mess.
the same thing. See, it's the same thing season after season.
Exactly.
How can a player be happy sitting at a club because he says, "Oh, I'm not gonna make this much." Maguire, that guy's so entitled. He's saying to him, West Ham is not big enough. West Ham's not gonna pay him the money that he wants to earn. This dude he's happy with sitting on the bench, making his money, and possibly not making his England making the World Cup for England next year. That's how stupid. Imagine the mentality. And I'm guarantee you, Maguire's not going to be the only one in that squad that has that mentality. There are going to be multiple players, and that thing is going to infect the whole squad. I guarantee you.
Yes,
Until a manager is given the power to say, you know what, you get out. I don't care if the club got to pay you out to get you out. Just get out, and then I need these players replaced.
He has said it in a diplomatic way. You're not in my plans.
He has.
You're not going to be my captain.
I understand, but it's left to the club to get him out.
Good
Guys,
player,
let me
but
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Then.
So Richard, hold on one second. So it's like he's told Maguire everything. You're not in my plans. You're not going to be my captain. But the guy said, I still want to prove my point and fight for my place, but there's no place to even fight for. So I don't know who's
trying to milk the
that's
club.
That's not on Eric Ten Hag. That's
not.
That's
so
on
let
the
me bring
player in the
Richard.
club.
Richard, let me bring Richard in. Richard.
Do you know what previous managers have done? They've been ruthless with these type of players. Look at Ole.
He wasn't able to get rid of certain players.
He ostracized Romero. He sent him to the reserves or the mountain somewhere. He didn't let him anywhere near the first team squad. Schweinsteiger, Mourinho, he sent him away packing. He was in the reserves. I think they even changed his locker in the changing room.
Okay.
And then
Mkhitaryan.
LVG with Victor Valdez.
Okay.
Victor Valdez was his keeper, but Barcelona. But at the end of the day, he still sent him away. Was Victor Valdez with LVG when he was at Barcelona?
Yeah.
Barcelona, he was.
Okay. Yeah, so he still sent him away. He still said, look, you're not part of my plans. So what I don't like that Ten Hag is doing, he's being too nice. So Maguire, fair enough,
I don't agree with that.
Let me say.
I don't.
Maguire, he's refusing to leave, whatnot. What you said, Bems, is true. There's too many players that are infecting the rest of the squad with their mentality. Keep them far away. Send them to the reserves.
That's too many players. That's too many players to keep away from the squad, though. That's too many players. You can't send like
one at a time.
Maguire's on a lot of money. Set an example. Even if it's one player, make an example out of him. Send him to the reserves, and don't let him come near the team.
It's not as easy as that, though. It's not as easy as that, though. It's easier for.
If you want someone to leave, you could just humiliate them.
Yeah. But
imagine Maguire playing with the reserves at 200 grand a week.
How much humiliation is enough humiliation?
Ten Hag also needs these players on side, though.
One at a time.
He also needs these players on side, though. Like you can't just say, hey, you go play the reserves. Whatever. I don't need you. There's a way. It's called, and that's why these managers are paid the big bucks to manage these clubs. It's not that easy, and I can guarantee you, Ten Hag cannot. In a press conference, say, I don't want Maguire. He's holding me. He's not going to say that. He can't say it. Because if he does that, it's going to a manager being negative during press conferences is going to affect the squad. I can guarantee you. So another player's going to be like, oh, damn, if he's going to say that about Maguire, he can say that about me.
Anyone.
I can't trust this manager.
Only Mourinho will say that.
Yeah, Mourinho is the only manager that will throw players on the bus. He's the only one that will do it. It doesn't work well.
In his first press conference, Pep threw Ronaldinho, Deco, and some other guys on the bus. They said he's not part of the plans.
Okay.
In his first press conference for Barcelona.
Yeah, but again, but
Oh no.
Huh?
Okay, respond to Richard. Richard.
Do you know that?
What's that?
Do you know why Pep did
breaking
that?
up.
Yeah, why did Pep do that?
They were doing stuff in the changing rooms, taking drugs.
Who told you that?
And bro, well documented. If you find, I can't really say it on the pod, but I'll say it off. They were doing stuff in the change room that they shouldn't have been doing.
Don't they get tested
I don't
every
know
week?
if that's true, but I will look. But I don't know. That's I need to check.
So we're now saying Eric Ten Hag is not ruthless enough. Is that where we're agreeing to now?
But he's got his own way.
I don't agree.
He's got his own way of being
that
ruthless.
Eric Ten Hag is not ruthless. Eric Ten Hag
Ruthless
showed.
Let me go
Eric Ten Hag showed that he can draw players.
Let me go to
He's
Vim. Vim, is Eric
Ten
Ten
Hag's
Hag
got his-
is he ruthless
Yes,
enough or not ruthless?
yes, he is. Yes, he is, and he does it in his own way.
Yeah.
He's not
Every
as
manager has
vocal
a
and
different
public
style.
as Jose Mourinho.
He did it with
LVG just
Ronaldo.
talks nonsense. He's very ruthless. We've seen what he's done to players. He just basically sends them to Coventry. He doesn't play them anymore. He humiliates them. He brings on Ronaldo with 4 minutes to go. I mean, he's almost setting players up to have a reaction which is gonna harm them. I think, did he include Maguire in the team sheet yesterday?
No.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
So
there.
that in itself is a
the thing
message.
about it. That's the thing
Yeah.
about it. You
That's a message.
You cannot shame something that is incapable of shame.
Yeah,
Maguire,
exactly.
If Maguire was ever the type of athlete, the type of man that can feel shame, he should have felt
He'd be
shame
gone.
when Luke Shaw was starting
Yeah.
ahead of him.
Yeah.
He sat on the bench and watched Luke Shaw play the position that he had been practicing and preparing for his entire life, and said, "Yeah, I have some more of that, please." So he needs to be moved on, right? Or just like completely, just like you, because like it's got to be, we got to be on some. Oh, you trying to fuck up our season now? Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna fuck up any chance of you going to the Euros or qualify for the England team. You want to fuck up our season? Nah, we got you. That's the kind of games. That's the level of ruthlessness that I want to see from Ten Hag.
He's already doing it though.
Maguire, I say sign Johnny Evans right now. Sign his ass right now.
Ten Hag
Bring
has
back
already
Phil
proved.
Jones. Bring
Ten
back
Hag
Phil
has already-
Jones.
Don't play him. Don't even play him. We
Yeah.
should.
Ten
Don't
Hag has
play
already.
him.
Okay.
Ten Hag has already
Ken,
proved that
let me
Maguire's
bring-
like fifth choice centre back.
let
So
me bring
Maguire's
Ken in.
milking it. You
He
have
is
to
milking
admit,
it,
he's
man.
milking
Yeah.
it, and he's going to get as
Milking
much money as he can before he goes.
Yes. Same with
Oh,
everybody.
you got to look at it this way. If Ronaldo was like Maguire, he'd still be there collecting his wages. The only reason Ronaldo's gone because his mentality is like, I want to go and play.
Yeah,
Maguire
Yeah.
playing.
exactly.
He's
Yep.
He's at Man United and he's thinking, I've hit the lottery.
Yeah.
There's nothing bigger than this for him. He's thinking the only way he's down. I'm 30. Southgate's still gonna play me. So it's in his head. He's like, it doesn't matter.
But that's the
£50
thing.
million pension,
His position in the England team is really at jeopardy, though. If he thinks like he can, because Southgate cannot just keep picking him when he's not playing. At some point,
He's been doing
Southgate
it.
has to.
But
Yeah,
doing
he's
it,
been
man.
doing. No, he's been doing that last season because I mean that's just one. That's one season, but he can't do it. He can't do 2 seasons in a row when Maguire's not playing. Like
true.
Southgate would be
Makes
so stupid to play Maguire in the national
but-
team for 2 years when he's not playing. He's hardly played for his club. He can't do that.
Right.
There's
Listen,
not a lot of
Kenneth,
competition. though.
let's bring Kenneth in. Kenneth, ruthless enough or not ruthless enough? Eric Ten Hag.
Oh, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. He is ruthless. I'll say yes, he's ruthless.
Yeah, every
but-
man has a different style.
Yeah,
Even
he's-
Ferguson had a different style.
yeah,
He didn't
he's-
throw you out on the bus per se, diplomatically.
He's ruthless, but not ruthless enough because there are players that shouldn't be there. You know, giving Rashford a new contract was a big fail. That was a huge fail. You know, like you got players like Kingsley Coman, you got players like Ousmane Dembele. Granted, he gets injured a lot, but players of that ilk. You got players like Leroy Sané. Those are the type of wingers we need at this football club. How many times, like, why are we seeing things that managers can't see? I just don't understand. Like, we know Rashford can't play up front. We've tried it under Oli so many times. Why is he getting a new contract to then play up front? ETH came out and said, we're trying to see if Sancho can play up front. And he says, yep, Sancho can do it. So, you know, you've played Sancho up front all through pre-season, scored a good goal against Arsenal, granted it's pre-season, and then you play Rashford up front. give a new contract. So he's not ruthless enough. That's what I'd say. If you're ruthless, you could, just what you did to De Gea, why can't we do that to Rashford? He scored 30-odd goals last season, fair enough. But I can guarantee you, this is what always happens. As soon as a player gets a new contract to Manchester United Football Club, it all goes downhill. They all start underperforming. They all play for new contracts. So yeah, I mean, talking about Maguire, is a contractual, like you said, Tim. It's an organizational issue. Right?
It is.
He's trying to ostracize him. He's trying to get rid of him. But the powers that be need to say, okay, look, you know what? We're actually going to pay you to go, and that's what needs to happen.
Every time I could only do so much.
Yeah. That I get, but I'm just concerned about the players that he has trusted. If you ask me, everyone's going to say, I don't think Bruno's a starter at Man United. I mean, guys, we need to be winning league titles, not all these not nonsense like.
Bruno's not going to take us to titles, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Rashford's not going to take us to titles either.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Rashford, Bruno, all these players, that's
it's just my opinion, though.
The players who could take us to titles cost money. Money we are not being given to purchase the title-winning players, right? So Erik ten Hag, personally, I think he's just trying to mix what he can. But at the same time, the formula he's using is not working. The players he's trusting are not. Bruno was poor yesterday. Rashford, poor. Luke Shaw, Garnacho is still young. It could still be worked. Should he have started yesterday? Probably not. Pelistri came in 5 minutes and did more than what Anthony offered.
There you go.
Would he start Pelistri? Probably not. But it's like
Tim, that's a very valid point. What you just said. Pelistri came in and did his job. Now, why do we keep insisting on players? You said we don't have money to replace players, but I'm quite happy to get rid of the likes of Rashford and play Pelistri, knowing that he's a young player, he won't cost, or get someone like Pelistri to play in that position, because we know that at least they're up and coming players. In terms of being ruthless, look at his signings as well. Look at Anthony. Why isn't he having a word with him and say, dude, when you get the ball and you don't always cut in, go down the wing, take a player on, go down the wing, get the ball and train him to cross with his right foot.
100%.
It's just
I think you're looking at a situation whereby, okay, it might be too early to say favoritism, but it looks like favoritism. Anthony,
guys,
has been poor. He has been poor.
With every manager, we keep talking about the same thing. You can't tell me all these managers are not good, though. We keep talking about favoritism. Ole, favoritism. Mourinho, favoritism. Every single manager. You mean to tell me all these managers are not good? Come on.
Ben, why is there
there's a common theme here.
Ben, why is there favoritism? Because the first 11 picks itself.
Exactly. There's no if you want to call it favoritism, the squad we have is not good enough. After the first 11, there's no competition.
That's the problem.
What's on the bench cannot come in and say, okay, I'm going to fight you for your position and I'm going to start playing ahead of you for like 5 to 10 games. That doesn't happen. At the end of the day, these are the best players that Erik ten Hag has. Until the manager is given the power to let go of the place he doesn't want and get quality, not second or third choice players. He needs to get first choice, and when I mean the first choice players that will equally enter City's team. If you want to challenge for the title, I'm sorry, the beginning is getting players that can start in City team. I'm gonna ask you a question. Will Rashford start in the City team?
None of our players.
But why does it give him a new contract?
He has to. He has no choice. Who else?
Hold on. As Mbappe is to PSG as the poster boy, that's Rashford is to United as the poster boy.
But it's not the manager, though. It's not the manager. It's the club. It's not the manager. It's the club.
If we let Rashford go, who's going to play in that position?
Exactly. Who's gonna do it?
Who are we going to bring in?
Look, go. I don't. Do you know what? We've seen these players season after season. Is the same old nonsense,
No,
right?
but answer the question. If Rashford
Yeah,
goes,
I'll answer the question.
Hey,
I just mentioned some players.
Let Ken finish.
If you go to France, right?
Ah,
If you go to France, there are good, solid left midfielders, good
But
forwards that you can
we
bring
don't-
in and develop, right?
We don't have good enough
At
recruitment,
least-
though, Ken. Our recruitment has been proven.
Exactly.
We don't have good enough recruitment. That's why Eric Ten Hag is buying the players that he knows. If we had good
But-
enough recruitment,
Yeah,
we'll
but
be
Ben,
getting
that's not an
those.
excuse. You can't just buy. Rich and I had the same conversation. You can't just buy players that you know. That's lazy.
but-
Why does
No, but the thing
Mourinho
about
do
it-
it?
But
Why
it's-
does LVG do it? Why does it Ten Hag? It's a
No,
practice. They're all
There's nothing wrong with doing that, but you can't do it every single time.
you say.
No, but it's no,
Here's-
but think
here's
about
the-
the managers don't have the choice to, because we don't see at the end of the day it boils down to the same thing. We every season we're in the same position. I can guarantee you, it is in maybe a year and a half from now, ETH gets sacked. We got a new manager. We get the hype. We're feeling good. Oh, we're gonna challenge. Oh, we get second first season, and second season we're gonna be right here having the same conversation, guys. We are
Right, okay.
how many managers in, and we're having the same. I can get look, Tim. You
So
know
Bems,
what?
Bems,
Go
in a-
back to
Bems
your
in a
pod, your
nutshell.
past pods, right? I can
Bems in a
guarantee you
nutshell.
find a similar show
Yeah,
like
Vim,
this.
Vim, respond to Bem's.
Yeah.
I said, Bems, in a nutshell, what you're trying to say is that we're never going to have success under Glazer ownership.
We are never.
That's the problem. This
we
is
are
it.
never. It is never going to happen.
Never going to
I
happen.
can guarantee it will never happen
Yeah,
until
okay.
the Glazers.
Let me bring
I
in. Let
believe
me
that
bring
too.
in.
I
That's
believe
it.
that too.
Let me bring in Joe. Joe, are you in?
Yeah.
Are you in support of Ben said that regardless of what manager, the best manager who's won titles everywhere, under this
Yes.
ownership ain't gonna happen.
It's I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen, but it is a massive reason why it has not happened and why we are not getting any closer. They play a key part in the cycle, this paradox that we have. For one, just if you just take the kind of contracts we give players, the contracts we give players give them that player power. So when they start playing like shit, they don't have no incentive to play better because they know they're going to get that bag anyway. We can't ship them out because they don't play to the standard, to the level that we're paying them for. You know what I mean? And because of that player power, it's going to take a little bit of, it's going to also take a little bit of strength that you don't necessarily see a lot of times in newer managers. Case in point, like Ten Hag should be able to pick somebody from the team and replace Marcus Rashford because that individual is playing he's doing exactly what he wants him to do. The same way Guardiola did the same thing with just take the scenarios, right? Let's take the two scenarios. When Guardiola was managing Thierry Henry, Ben's telling the story this weekend, right? Henry scored the winning goal.
Right, yeah. I said
Guardiola
yeah.
dropped him, right?
Yes.
In Manchester, because he dropped him because he wasn't playing, he wasn't following
instructions he gave him.
But
The
in
team.
Manchester United, if Rashford scores that winning goal, our
great.
managers don't have the strength or don't have the balls or don't have
can't drop him.
the ability by something that could have been sanctioned by upper management, don't have the ability to sit down somebody like that. They just don't, right? And if we continue to have players that from time to time score or give us an advantage, continue to dislodge our manager's ability to like institute his style of play, we're gonna constantly have this same issue. Right now, Rashford is Cristiano Ronaldo, where he can produce and he can get us goals and he can get us assists, but the way he plays or the way he changes the way the team plays is affecting us overall. We're having this, like, I'm gonna have to give it up to Ben this weekend. We're having the same issues that we were having with Cristiano Ronaldo. We are highly dependent on one particular individual to score goals, and whenever that falls aside, we can't go back to just our style of play, because our style of play is supposed to encourage.
So because you're saying they build a team around the player, and when he fails, United haven't got a
we're
plan
not a
B.
team. Look at City.
We're not even a team. Okay.
No.
Let Kay come in.
But Tim, look at City. Cancelo wasn't doing what Pep told him to do. He banished him. We can't banish a player like that because we haven't got someone that will come in and do better or the same job. You think we can banish Rashford? And then last season we didn't score any goals without Rashford. You think you can banish him? It's impossible.
So it still comes down to the lack of depth, the lack of ability to replace players who are not performing. And it's on the club. It's just like you said, Anthony is not doing it right. Start Pelistri. Pelistri will do a better job. Why wouldn't he do that?
I bet
he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't trust Pelistri. I don't know what Pelistri, even in the preseason, has done more than Anthony. In the 2 days, I think he's done better than Anthony these 2 games. And he's only been giving.
I also think it also has to do with Anthony costs what, 85 mil.
Yeah, I think the price tag.
He has to play Anthony. These are the plays the plays that he bought, right? He has to stick by them as long as possible. Just like Ole had to stick by Maguire, right? Because that's the play he bought. So you can't blame Ten Hag now. But if Ten Hag was in, like, given the power that Pep had, right? Pep could go through 6. Well, maybe that's too much. Pep could go through 3, 4 left backs until he finds the one he likes.
Yeah,
he'll buy. Doesn't work. Okay, you're going buy another one. Okay, it don't work. Okay, you're going buy another one. So that's the power that these other managers have.
Got rid of England #1,
Pep.
Joe Hart. Got rid of. First season in, he said, "You're not good enough. You're out." Then he got another goalkeeper who could play football. Then he got rid of him and got this guy he has now. But the thing is, United managers, sometimes I think the Man United managers look like they're free, but they're not actually free, if that makes sense. Free.
But the thing is, the fans are not helping the situation, because the fans think like, oh, we've bought new players. Oh, we should be able to contend for the title. We should do this, we should do that. But the thing about it is that, right, at the end of the day, right, if you go behind closed doors, the managers bought new players. If you go behind closed doors, there are plays he doesn't want. Those plays are affecting the club from moving forward. It's a lot. Like, I mean, when it comes to the way we play, right? Yeah, Rashford scores goals, right? But but the thing is that when he gets the ball, he puts his head down, he tries to run at players, he's so predictable. A lot of times he loses the ball, and guess what? When he loses the ball, because he can't hold on to the ball, when he loses the ball, we invite pressure. Rashford does it on the left wing. Rashford does it up top. What's his name was doing it. Let's the Garnacho making the wrong decisions. Every time they make the wrong decisions, it invites pressure. And the more time we invite pressure,
so the problem there now, between the midfield and attack, there's a serious disconnect.
There's a complete disconnect. There's a complete.
So let me go to Richard quickly. Richard, you mentioned earlier about the Mason Mount project. It's 2 games in. I watched him preseason. We watched him when Madrid came to Houston. I personally, I don't want to take it personal. I never rated Mason Mount, even at Chelsea. But now he's playing in a Man United team. I don't know where his actual position is in this team that will be successful. Richard, where are you on Mason Mount, and where should he be playing to get the best out of it?
You know, the best position for Mason Mount is on the bench. Simple. So, like when you look at Mason Mount, no, it's not harsh, because I've seen Mason Mount play a number of times for Chelsea and also England, right? When England lost against Italy in 2020, the final, I was watching Mason Mount very closely because he was being hyped up in the build-up to that game. He went missing. He was absolutely I can't even remember him being on the ball. He went missing. And I was saying that there's no penetration, there's no creativity from England's midfield. Now watch Mason Mount at United, the same thing. I'll tell you something. Christian Eriksen completed more passes than Mason Mount did in the whole game. When did Mason Mount come off? Yesterday for something innocent. Exactly. Christian Eriksen completed more passes than the guy. I'm tired of players being at United just looking like they're pretending to be busy, just running around like headless chickens. but not offering nothing of real quality on the ball. Mason Mount, I mean, if you watch his game closely, he hides from the ball. So when we was, linked with Mason Mount, I thought, oh, it's just somebody on Twitter just making a horrible joke. It's not going to come true. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think that Ten Hag would look at that type of player, especially him going for Frankie de Jong last summer. I thought that was the type of profile of player that he was going to continue to target. Even if it wasn't Frankie de Jong, I thought it was going to be something of that type.
Yeah, Mason Mount came out of the blue. I don't know how that came about.
Mason Mount doesn't scream somebody who wants to retain possession. He runs around looking busy, but he doesn't offer much in the final third. Yes, he did have one okay season at Chelsea, but I've got so many Chelsea fans who are laughing at me right now, saying they were so happy to get rid of the guy. Mason Mount, for me, was a horrible signing. £60 million with 1 year left on his contract. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, he can come good. I've not seen anything from Mason Mount, even at Chelsea. So I'm not just judging him off 2 games. That remotely suggests that this guy is going to be any good for us. Never mind giving him the number 7 shirt, which is a travesty to the previous legends. That's a mockery. That's up there with pretty much Ole giving this guy Maguire the captaincy. That's the worst decision, but it's a mockery to United fans. Giving Mason Mount the number 7 shirt, really? It just adds unnecessary pressure on him as well.
That's true. Let me go to Kay.
Hey,
Kay.
Real quick.
Hold on. Go on, John.
Real quick, that goes to show exactly what his place in the club is. Giving him the number 7 shirt means we didn't look at his style of play. That wasn't the determining factor. The determining factor is to sell shirts. That's why his best position is literally on the bench. Stay on the bench, sell shirts. Okay.
Let me go to Kay.
But Ten Hag wanted Mount, though, just to be fair.
Because apparently Ten Hag had seen Mount in Holland when he was on a loan somewhere, Utrecht. So I don't know if that or Mason Mount, that version of Mason Mount he saw still exists today. I don't know. Players do change with different teams and different formations, different coaches. Kay, is Mason Mount, is this project too early to say wrong position, wrong team? Quickly.
I think the biggest problem is Mount's coming to a team that was playing a certain way, and now we're trying to play a different way. And when you've got Bruno, Mount, and Rashford, it's a mismatch. Like, there's no balance in that team. It's too top heavy, and it's you play Mount or Bruno. Really, ideally, you don't play both of them. I think that's the biggest problem. And because you spent 60 million on him, you can't bring in a player in United, bring a player for 60 million and put him on the bench. The media will be going for you. If that was Pep, he kept Grealish on the bench.
He doesn't care.
He's 100 and how many million? But you know why he could do that? Because the team was winning, and they were a team, and there was a structure. That's the big difference. We're bringing in players, trying to offload others. We can't offload them, so the players we bring in have to start because there's no competition.
Wow.
And it's the same cycle.
I have an opinion about the Mount thing, though.
Hold on, Ben. I'll come to you. Fim, the Mount project, too early to judge?
Yeah. Well, Mason Mount, if you're watching this, we don't really hate you. So I think people are just upset. But look, I've got it. Someone's going to speak out in his defense, so I'll do that.
Defense attorney.
Yeah, someone's going to be devil's advocate. The thing is, Mason Mount, right? A lot of Chelsea fans are happy to get rid of him because he did have a bad season at Chelsea, and they had a lot of fresh blood coming in. The thing is, Mason, they all say the same thing though. Mason Mount is being played out of position. He doesn't play the central role. He doesn't play a deep central role. He's a winger at best, and he's got pace. He's got good footwork, and he's got good energy. And we are not utilizing him in the correct way. Now, you come to a club like Manchester United, you give him the number 7 shirt, and you play him out of position. So he's under a lot of pressure. He knows he needs to perform, and the guy was panting hard when he came off. Yes, Richard, I know you said he was, running around doing nothing, but I give him effort. Okay, he tries, but I think we're making it too difficult for him. You've got to play him in a position where he can contribute, and that's going to be on the wing. Those wings are already quite crowded now. We've got Sancho, we've got Garnacho, we've got Rashford who wants to play out there, and then you've got Mason Mount who's going to ideally play on that left berth, but he's not going to get a look in. Eric Ten Hag has got a different position for him, which is central midfield, and he's not used to it. So we've got to give him some time. I would not have chosen him for our club. He's an okay player. Yes, we overpaid for him, but I think we've got to give him a chance. He's at the club now. He is working hard. We've got to try and fit him into the system, whatever it is. And if he can play on the left berth and contribute, then, you know, fair play. Let's give him a chance. But yeah, I think we're, you know, we can't beat him up now because we're going to destroy his confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Bam's rebuttal that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want to defend Mason Mount here a little bit. I think
got two attorneys here now.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I mean,
because Richard destroyed him completely. Richard and Joe just literally just said bench.
I mean, I do agree that we didn't necessarily need him, but he's not a bad player. He's not as bad he's not as bad as what people say. I just think that he's coming to a team that, just like what Kate said, right? We're basically trying to change the way we play. And he's not used to these players yet. And two, I think him and Bruno, in that basically they occupy the same position. So it's either you drop one of them. It's either you drop Bruno and play Mason Mount, or you drop Mason Mount and play Bruno. Or I think you have to be creative with the way you play, right? You have to, if you're gonna play Mason Mount and Bruno in that team, you need two other midfielders behind them, not one, two other midfielders behind them that are going to be engines. When I mean engines, like they're going to be able to sit, they're going to be able to be physical, and be able to win the ball back. Because Mason Mount and Bruno, these guys, especially Mason Mount, he likes to press. That the high press is good. He does that well. He's decent at it. I think he's kind of like an improved Fred, if you look at it that way. And Fred was useful to this team to a certain extent. But if you want to get the best out of Mason Mount, you just have to play a certain way, right? You need cover behind him, or you drop Bruno and play him in that 10 position. But you can't. You have to play differently, and you have to give him time to embed to the squad. Okay. I just think it's too early just to shut him down, just throw him away, because he's not a bad player. This is the same player that won the Champions League with Chelsea. He's not bad.
Right.
Let me get so give him some credit.
Cool, fine. Ken, can you are you on the project Mason Mount, or you're not with the project? We have two people who defended him, two have destroyed it, who said he ain't good enough. He shouldn't be there. Where are you on this? I think you're literally the decider.
Yeah, am I on mute? No. Okay, we've wasted 60 million. That's all I'd say. Complete. We literally poured it down the toilet and flushed it away. Absolute joke.
You've been spending too much time, Richard.
Hey, I just want to point out, yeah, it is a waste of money when you spend money on a player you don't need. Right? Even if that player is good,
but there must have been something.
But it depends. But think about that. It's the way Ten Hag wants to play, though. But Ten Hag getting that player, it means he wants to play in a certain way. You see what I'm saying? I won't call it a waste. I won't call it a waste until you've given Ten Hag all the pieces of that puzzle for him to do what he wants to do.
So Ken has said,
can I
who's supposed to be
let Ken finish. Let Ken finish.
Yes, let me come in there. Bems, you just hit the nail on the head. We've signed the wrong player, or you could say the right player at the wrong time. It's the wrong time. We don't need Mason Mount. What was Fred's role, right? When he was at United, he was an 8, right, and sometimes plays as a 6. At least he can give you some sort of combative or competitiveness in midfield. Mason Mount's not going to give you that. He's just going to run around and try to press. So this is what I understand about ETA, and this is why he needs to be questioned. There's nothing wrong with questioning a manager, guys. And we're not saying he's a bad manager. We just have to question his decisions and his mindset and the way the way he does things. Like, why would you sign Mason Mount when you know that that Fred's leaving? And you know you need Amrabat. Why don't you sign Amrabat first? Let me finish. Why don't you sign Amrabat first?
Yes.
And then look at Mason Mount.
What did we say? Shirt sale.
I think
exactly. Shirt sales.
But not only that. What about the fact that you have to have a certain number of British players in the squad? If you're trying to get rid of Maguire and you're trying to get rid of Dean Henderson, you've got to replace him at least with one British player.
But yet again, right? When you're buying players, right? You see, okay, this player may become available, and maybe this is a player that other clubs are looking at, because at the time makes them out. Liverpool wanted him. I think there were like 2 other clubs that wanted him at the same time, right? So that's one thing Ten Hag has to. Yeah, there you go. So that's one thing Ten Hag has to think about. But when you look at a player like Amrabat, right? Amrabat has made it clear, I want to go to United. All these other clubs don't talk to me. So Ten Hag is like, okay, Amrabat, we good, right? I just need you to chill, relax, wait. You want me, I want you. I know you're not going to go anywhere, but this guy Mounts, there's a chance that he could go, because let's be honest, he's played under Tuchel. He played one of his best football under Tuchel. Tuchel loves Mason Mount. So Mason Mount could have easily gone to Bayern Munich. So I think you got to look at it. So Ten Hag didn't want to lose a player to another club.
He was Lampard's favorite too. Lampard's favorite.
There you go. Yeah. Lampard's favorite too. 2 shirt sales, and when it comes to shirt sales, the earlier you buy the player,
the shirt sale with the name and the number.
Exactly. And then number 7, the more shirts you can sell. And again, it goes up again to the club, right? Glazonomics.
Yeah, you're very right, Ben. Let me go to K on the Mason Mount further quickly. Well, your Mason Mount, we've got a divided forum.
They're right in saying he was the wrong player at the time, but like Ben's explained, he was the player that was available. He had more ticks than crosses. He knew we weren't going to get Kane. The Gea nonsense was messing about. We missed it on King. What's his name?
King Min
Jae. So Ten Hag's like, I need a player. I need to get someone in. And
that's the wrong mentality.
But why is that happening? Because of the club and the structure. I'm going to say, until you say a run of games with a proper striker, judge me when he's had a few games with a proper striker. Because I think the function of the team, with Rashford up there, he doesn't want to be up there. And you can see it. When Marshall came on, look how well he held up the ball. He knows when to play it, when to run. And the team changes when Marshall plays, and he's not even fully fit. That shows you we're playing. It's like playing. It's like City trying to play Grealish up front. It's a madness.
Yeah,
that won't be the same team.
Okay, right. Let's quickly go to question time. Anyone got questions?
Yes, question.
Go on.
Okay, well, I mean, anyone wants to ask the question first, but my fellow brothers in the UK, AK Ken, AK Richard, who else was on that bandwagon that we can win the title? We can.
God.
What you guys?
This is not a question. This is a statement.
To be fair, Richard didn't say we're going to win the league. He said we'll finish 3rd. I think he said City and then Chelsea.
We'll finish.
Okay. So Richard's off the hook. Ken, what's up, man?
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you a question.
It's good to see you today.
Yeah. As you can see, and this is why I'm livid. Let me answer. Yeah, let me answer. This is why I'm livid, because we had the potential to at least put in a fight, but what I'm seeing from the manager is not good enough. I'm sorry, the manager has to be questioned, because some of the decisions has completely ruled us out already and this is not based on the players we have or the squad or the Glazers. I'm looking at the team, I'm thinking, how can me as a fan know more than my manager? It doesn't make sense. He's paid millions.
You don't. That's the thing, Ken. You don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, but exactly. So if we're looking at it, we're calling it as, oh, this game we're gonna struggle, and the manager's going, no, we're gonna win, and you're thinking, that's when that's why I've now changed my stance because of what's happened and the stubbornness of the manager. I don't think.
Would you get rid of Ten Hag?
I'd say, look, like I said, we have to pick up 4 points in the next 2 games.
If he doesn't,
we need to start calling him out. If he doesn't pick up 4, because we can't faff around. What's the point in going through the same old cycle every single season? Fight for top 4, get kicked out of the cups, and then Champions League.
The answer begins with a G.
I'll tell you what.
Glazers.
6 letters, exactly.
If he keeps playing Mount, Bruno, and Casemiro, we will not get out of the Champions League group.
Yeah,
I agree.
Hopefully, an Amrabat will be added. I'm hoping and believing because.
Okay, Ken. So who would you bring? Which manager would you bring to replace Erik ten Hag?
Bring Ole back.
I think Ole is going to even turn the job down. Ole would turn it down like, no, I thank you, but no thanks. I need a peace of mind.
You see his grey hair?
No, he wouldn't. If we call Ole right now,
Ole would take that job. He would take it with his 2 hands and both feet. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, thank you."
So you think Ole will come back?
But who would you bring? Stink out the place.
Yeah,
he will do a Lampard and stink out the club.
Exactly. But who would you bring in? Because
I'll bring in Ancelotti if I have my.
Managing Brazil.
That's what I'm saying. If I had my way, he will be the perfect man. In terms of we need to scrap all this stuff. But like what you're saying, Ben's right. In terms of how do we move on from here, we need to make sure that we get rid of the Glazers first. That is the main thing.
And you know what, right? We were before Ten Hag came in. I think there was talk about like, okay, Ten Hag he's gonna come, he's gonna change things up. He's a good manager, right? But more than likely, within 2 years, we're gonna be in this position where like fans are gonna go against him. It's already starting to happen.
Decision making can be questioned tactically. Yesterday, it's a lot. It isn't, but I will still stand by. There's still 36 more games in the league to fix things. I'm gonna quickly run around everybody. Next 2 games, Forest and Arsenal. I'm gonna just tell me how many points we're gonna get out of Forest and Arsenal. Then we close for the day. Bems, Forest and Arsenal, 6 points available. United are getting how many? Forest home, Arsenal away.
Forest home, Arsenal away.
Yeah.
I will say something's telling me I think the max will probably get out of those 2 games. I mean, it's a hard one, man. Force is going to be a hard game now just because we've not been playing well. I don't see a win against Arsenal. I would say my mind is telling me 1 or 2 points.
2 points.
1 or 2 points, yeah. 2.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing now based on
after yesterday. 2 points.
Yeah.
Joe.
Wow.
We're gonna come out of that with 3 points. We're gonna lose to Forest and beat Arsenal 1-0.
Ooh.
Bim.
I was thinking the other way around. I think we'd win against Forest because.
Oh no way! We're not beating.
We're not beating Forest.
No. All they have to do is just play us like the other 2. Like all they have to do is watch our last 2 games and just do that.
Just play with more energy.
Arsenal can't do that. That's why we have a chance.
Arsenal's going to be interesting because it's going to be Mason Mount versus his mate Declan Rice.
Yes.
So I'm sure he'll put up a fight.
Arsenal are going to kill us.
Arsenal would take us to the cleaners, man.
I don't think so.
So, Vim, what
so 2-0 against Arsenal. We get defeated 2-0.
Away? At Arsenal Stadium?
Yeah.
Away? At Emirates?
Yeah.
No, we lose against Arsenal. That's what we think, right?
Are going to do a madness. Trust me.
Guess what? Right?
So against Vim,
against Arsenal,
3 points.
4-0.
4-0.
4-0 loss against Arsenal.
Martinelli ain't doing shit against.
So Vim said 3 points. Richard.
3 points. I think I think we'll get beat narrowly again by Arsenal, but they'll dominate us completely on the pitch, but we'll end up losing like 2-1 or so. So yeah, 3 points. We'll beat Forest and then get beat by Arsenal.
Okay.
I'll be surprised if we get more than 1 point. I won't be surprised if we draw with Forest and lose to Arsenal. I would not be surprised. Unless I see a different performance, there's no way we're beating Arsenal. There's no way. There is no way.
Okay.
Why are we backing the manager then?
I don't know how you guys.
Let me go.
Until we have a striker that plays up top, we have no chance of beating Arsenal.
Yes.
I will adjust.
Okay, you want to adjust your score?
I want to adjust my score. If we drop Anthony or Mount,
that won't
we have
happen.
a chance of 3 points. If we don't, it's going to be 1 point. Yeah.
Okay. Cannel.
I'm gonna go for 4 points because that's what I'm pushing. That's my requirement for ETH. If I was the CEO, I'll be telling him, look, if you don't get 4 points, you're next on the line.
Richard is laughing.
Yeah, it's not. No, we have to
seriously, there are
standards.
standards.
We've got high standards. It's true.
We have to set high standards. If again, going back to Arsenal, if a team can finish third and challenge for the league, and it's Arsenal, we all know how Arsenal. Why can't we do it? So
we're way behind Arsenal.
We're way behind Arsenal, man.
I don't want to hear Arsenal. I don't want to hear that.
No, way behind Arsenal.
No.
I would even say we're behind Brighton.
Ken has been the most optimistic one.
Yes, 4 points. 4 points. It has to be 4 points.
Kay and Joe go with 1 as cold-blooded. But
I would say we were worse than Brighton. Brighton's
I have
a
a quick question, though. Quick question.
Yes, Ben.
Ken, if we don't get these 4 points, will you be at the next protest?
I wish I could. I wish I could go there.
On that note, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Happy Sunday. We know with Man United, there's going to be drama this week. There's going to be the Mason Greenwood, the Mason Mount issue, the Eric Bailly, there's Maguire issue. Yes, go on, Ken.
Guys, how many signings do you think we'll make before the window closes?
Two
signings.
Amrabat and who else?
I think we're going to panic buy.
I'm hearing. I'm
hearing about Verratti. I'm hearing Verratti name coming up.
Yeah, I'm hearing that as well.
I heard about it. I saw it yesterday.
We'll get
another we should have got 5 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of
30 years old now, Verratti.
But
30 years old.
You know what though? It's looking like we are just the settings are all getting set up for a panic buy.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna panic buy. It's gonna be 2 signings. We're gonna do 1 panic buy, and then we're gonna over advertise a youth signing. That's what's going.
Do you think Casemiro was a panic buy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does anyone?
He was a panic buy.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a panic buy.
Because we didn't get De Jong.
Yes, it was a panic buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
But he was a good panic buy, wasn't he? He was a good panic buy.
Yeah.
Short term.
For 4 years, he signed a contract on 350 grand a week. That's going to be a problem in a couple of years.
Yes, big problem.
That's the cycle again.
Hey, wait a minute. You worried about
Verratti will be saving similar money, won't he?
No. 4 years, bro.
Kay has a point.
He's got 4 years left.
Kay has a point. It's clockwork, man. It's
How
like
long did we sign
club,
for?
We keep going around the same circle,
5.
man.
Like 70 million or something like that.
Yeah. You paid like 70 mil.
You know we're gonna give Casemiro another contract, right? You know we're gonna give that motherfucker another contract.
Play until 40.
He'll be 35 at the time. He'll be 35 at the time. Right. Sancho was on.
Got us another.
Sancho's on what?
320.
Sancho's on 355.
Wow.
It's not that high.
Way overpaid.
It is. He was the next highest under De Gea.
Second highest under De Gea. That's right.
Is that basic?
Basic.
355 basic.
Basic. 355 a week.
Wow,
Crazy.
that's a madness.
That's a lot.
That's Ollie again, bro.
That's Ollie and Woodward's.
Again, like I keep saying, I keep singing the song. We will not be successful until the Glazers are gone. Because until the Glazers are gone, you need to change the structure. Everything needs to be changed. Yeah. And when you change that, when you change the structure, then you now begin to build. Let go of players. You sell. Okay, your contract. We're gonna pay you off. Bye bye. We're gonna pay you off. Bye bye.
We need to be more brutal. I think the two men will come in here for a retirement plan. I think we need to be more brutal and more cutthroat.
We need, in my opinion, I mean, we need over 500 million. I would say at least 750 million to completely get this club back to where it needs to be. And that's new owners.
Right. Gentlemen, we will continue during the week. Let's see what happens with the Greenwood, Mount, Maguire. They said they're going to do a U-turn. It's all gone wrong there because they don't. Like I said, this club is so disorganized.
The Greenwood situation is simple, man. The Greenwood situation is simple. Bring him back into the team, loan him out to Saudi Arabia, get the P's, and then nullify the contract. Because then they can say, "Hey, he's one of our academy players. We made sure, we kept him working. He can take care of his new baby, his future wife, whatever. But he just can't do it here. You cannot bring him back. As much as we need him, and he can Greenwood the last 6 months at United would walk straight into this lineup, right? And he was kind of poor. He would take Anthony's place. I understand that we need him, but it's too toxic. You should put him out on loan. He looks a little dry anyway. He needs to gain some weight.
That would actually work, That's a good point.
Yeah,
that would work.
Put him out on loan.
On that note,
put him out on loan.
On that note,
you got to remember, his wife's due to have a kid. Well, his girlfriend's due to have a kid. Is she going to want to go to Saudi?
Saudi Arabia.
Who gives that?
They're not even allowed to live in the same house unless they're married.
Wait a minute. Do you understand? Wait a minute. Do you understand the situation that couple has put this multi-billion-dollar company in? No. They don't get to say, man, send their ass to China then. Forget Saudi Arabia.
On that note, we got catching you guys.
China.
Let me say a good big thanks to the British crew, Richard, Kay, Vim, and Ken. We shall see you next week, hopefully, and my US crew, Mr. Controversial and the Summon, who says they should be sent to China. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Straight up knocked out the second ago, man.
What?
See you guys soon. Take care, brothers.
All right, guys.
All right,
guys.
bye.
Bye.